Hello, this is Patrick at OneCNCWest, and what we're going to do in this video is take a look at applying Toolpath to multiple sides of a part. Alright, let's get started. In this example, you can see that we have a solid model that's going to require Toolpath on 3 different sides. I've already applied Toolpath to the top side, so why don't we quickly go into Toolpath simulation and see what we have. I'm going to head over to the NC Manager, right-hand click on the Toolpath group, and select Simulate Rest. I'm going to be using a solid model I created earlier for the stock, so we'll just click OK and let OneCNC simulate the toolpath. Here you can see the facing operation, the outer profile operation, the other profile operation at the top, the pocket operation, center drill, and drill. Alright, now let's take a look at applying Toolpath to the very bottom of the part. I'm going to exit out of the Toolpath simulation, and instead of taking the part and actually rotating it and making a copy of it, maybe placing it in a layer or within a different part file, we don't have to do any of that. We can keep it very, very simple. In fact, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate the view, just like this, just to a convenient orientation. All right. Hey, I think that looks good. Also to assist, I'm going to turn on a layer I created earlier. This is going to show us the wireframe geometry required for this toolpath. Alright, so in order to create a brand new CNC program, because in this example, this part's going to be, let's say, in a different fixture, maybe in a different vise, it could be in a different machine tool, we do need to create a new toolpath group. So to do that, we're going to head over to the NC Manager, right-click, and select New Group. This new toolpath group is going to hold all of the machining operations for the bottom side. I'm also going to right-click on the Toolpath group and select Activate Group just to make sure that this is the most current and active group. Now, the next thing I need to do is I do need to create a construction plane on this side of the part. That way OneCNC understands the proper orientation of the XYZ axes. To create a construction plane is very simple. Just head down to the lower left-hand corner, and within your construction plane tools, by far the easiest one to use is Create Plane from Surface. You just take your cursor and left-click on the surface or face in which you'd like to create the construction plane, and OneCNC quickly creates that. Now we're almost finished here. The only thing that we do need to do is we need to ensure that the X0, Y0, Z0 is in the proper location for this construction plane. We're going to head to the upper left corner, select the very first tool called Position Plane. I can take my cursor and I'm just going to left-click that point I created. So why did I do that? Well, when this part's mounted in a fixture or a vise, we need to make sure that the datum, the X0, Y0, Z0 of this construction plane matches the datum, the X0, Y0, Z0 of the part that's all fixtured up within the machine tool. And that's why I've selected this point in the upper right-hand corner. All right, so all we need to do now is head over to the NC Manager and tell OneCNC to use that construction plane. Just click on your multi-axis dialog box and select 3-axis reposition. This has absolutely nothing to do with multi-axis machining. In other words, this doesn't require an indexer, a rotary table, a trunnion. It has nothing to do with multi-axis machining. It has everything to do with taking your part and repositioning it and then applying Toolpath. That's exactly what we want. Alright, so with that all set up, we can apply our Toolpath. Let's head over to the Command Manager, go into our stock Toolpath, and select Facing. Now, I'm going to speed the video up just to save some time, but all I'm doing is I'm applying a facing operation and a pocket operation to both pockets. Alright, so now we have all the toolpath for the bottom side. Now, one of the big benefits of applying your toolpath like this is that when we go to simulate, we can actually simulate all the sides of the part. It's very nice. So we're going to right-hand mouse click on any toolpath group, makes no difference which one, and then instead of selecting Simulate Rest, we're going to select Simulate All. That means simulate all of the toolpath groups. Again, we're going to use that solid model I created for the stock. We'll click OK and let OneCNC simulate the toolpath. I'm going to speed up the toolpath simulation just to save some time, but notice how the toolpath simulation is showing the machining of both sides, the top side and the bottom side. All right, let's do the same thing for the third side. We're going to exit out of the Toolpath simulation, back into the NC Manager. We're going to right-hand mouse click, select New Group. I'm going to right-click, select Activate Group. Very good. I'm going to again head down to the Layer Browser. I'm going to turn off the wireframe geometry for the bottom and turn on the layer that shows the wireframe geometry for the side. I'm going to rotate our view a little bit. That looks good. And just like before, we need to create a construction plane on this face. It's the exact same procedure. Into our construction plane tools, third option from the left, which is create plane from surface. Left click on the surface. Now we want to reposition the construction plane. We're going to select position plane and simply left click that point. Very good. We can close this down and start to apply our toolpath for the third side. Again, I'm going to speed the video up just to save some time, but what we're doing here is we're performing a profile operation, a center drill operation, and then drilling both of the holes. All right, so now we have our toolpath applied to all three different toolpath groups, each toolpath group representing a different side of the part. Let's go ahead and simulate this toolpath. We're going to right-hand click. And remember, if you want to simulate all your toolpath groups, don't use Simulate Rest. Make sure to use Simulate All. Click Simulate All. We're going to use the stock I created earlier. We'll click OK and let OneCNC simulate the toolpath. Here's the toolpath simulation for side 1, side 2, and side 3. Let's take a look now at creating CNC code. All right, so to create CNC code for each different toolpath group, there's a couple ways to do it. One method is simply just right-click on your toolpath group and select Post Group. This is going to create a CNC program for just that toolpath group. I'm going to be using the Haas Post Processor. I'll click Post. Let's call this Side 1. And we'll click Save on that. Overwrite that and let OneCNC generate the CNC code. All right, so there's the CNC code for side 1. Now to generate CNC code for side 2, very simple. Just come over to your toolpath group, right-hand mouse click, and select Post Group. All right, now you can use the same post processor if you want, but let's say the Haas machine tool was busy and you needed to machine the bottom side using a different machine tool. Well, you could come over here and select a different post processor. For example, why don't we use a Fidal for the second side? So we'll click Post. I'm going to call this one Side 2. That looks good. We'll click Save. All right, so here's our CNC program for Side 2, and this was created by using a Fidal post processor. Now let's generate CNC code for the third toolpath group. We're going to right-hand mouse click, select Post Group. This time I'm just going to use the same Haas post processor. We'll click Post. For the name, I'm going to call this Side 3. We'll click Save on that and click OK. And there we go. There's the CNC program for the third side. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it helped out, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.